Ooh, what's good, Commanders fans? I just want to give you guys a quick update on some more of the transactions that the Commanders have made. Now, I probably after this one, I'm going to wait until they finally make the full roster. This may be like my last video, depending on if they make like a big announcement like Michael Wiley making the team or them saying Casimir Allen makes the team. I definitely feel some different way about that if Kaz Allen makes the team. I'll be very happy if Michael Wiley makes the team. Who else is on the bubble? That's really it that I'm thinking about. That I'd be happy. Michael Wiley's like the only guy I'd be like surprised and happy that he made the roster, even though I have him on the 53, my prediction 53. That's really it that I can think of. But KJ Henry has been released, which is kind of a surprise here. I had KJ Henry making it, but you know this does kind of mean that Jamin Davis is going to make it. It is going to make it. I feel like. And then Javonte Jean-Baptiste is going to make it. Now, this might have came down between KJ Henry and Javonte Jean-Baptiste. Do you go with your draft pick or do you go with the guy who was there with Rivera, who Rivera drafted? And I think this time Adam Peters went with the draft pick of Javonte Jean-Baptiste. If Javonte Jean-Baptiste makes the roster, that's my thoughts on it, honestly, because KJ Henry had a good preseason. Like, even not just because of the sack he held on Jacoby Brissett, but he played well in the Jets game. He played well in the Dolphins game. And he's a decent backup. Like, he's a decent backup. I feel like he could have came in and helped this team as a backup, as a rotational pass rusher behind Cleveland Farrell or behind Dorrance Armstrong. I know we got Dante Fowler as well and Jamin at edge, I guess, now. But I think KJ Henry actually could have helped this team. Like, he has speed coming off the edge. He's an athlete. He makes plays. He's always around the football. He's making plays. The sack on Jacoby was nice. And I feel like a play like that, I feel like that kind of should have cemented his spot on the roster. But I get it. You know, it can be, you know, Adam Peters wants to move on from a lot of guys from the Rivera era. Ricky Stromberg is going to be traded. No, he's not going to be traded, but he's going to be released. They're trying to trade him. They're going to release him. Cole Turner is gone, but Jamin Davis is a Rivera guy, and they're keeping him. So that's what it is on that. But I feel like KJ Henry, and we always have this conversation, is a guy going to be claimed or going to be back on the practice squad? And a lot of the times I say they're going to be claimed, I actually feel like KJ Henry's going to be claimed. I do. He's going to be, because of the Sunday Night Football game, it was on national TV and people saw that. And he took Jacoby Brissett out of the game and he injured him. I think people watched that clearly and saw that. And I do think a team is going to pick him up as a backup pass rusher, a rotational pass rusher. He had 1.5 sacks last year. He should have had 2.5. Because they call roughing the passer on the sack on Mac Jones, which was just ridiculous. Like, it's like that penalty was like, okay, we just need to change this to flag football. If you're gonna call stuff like that, you needed to change it. You need to change it to flag football. And he had 3 starts last year when Chase Young was traded and Montez Sweat was traded. He ended up having 1.5 sacks, 2 pass deflections, 4 tackles for loss. And 19 tackles and started 3 games. So, but other guys that have been released so far. Andre Jones Jr. was released. I'm not surprised about that. 7th round pick last year. We always do a 7th round defensive end pick, and Ron Rivera chose him last year, and he's released. He had a good preseason last year and a good training camp last year, but didn't get a lot of playing time and whatnot. They're also releasing defensive lineman David. I'm just gonna say last name N, and I'll try to pronounce it real quick. Nwagawuwu, so I'll just call it David N, was released. And they waived offensive lineman Julian Good-Jones. Excuse me. I saw a couple of people actually put him on their 53-man roster projection. I was like, he's not making his team. He can't even snap a football. He's struggling to snap a football in practice. Why would they put him on the roster? So he worked at both center and guard in camp. Chance to come back on the practice squad per John Keim. So we'll see what happens with that. But James Pierre, the cornerback, was released as well. And KJ Henry was a 5th round pick. They traded up. The previous regime traded up to get KJ Henry. So, you know, another trade for a guy who's not on the roster. You know, we traded up for him in the draft and he's not on the roster anymore. Ron Rivera did trade it for Cameron Cheeseman. He was awful, but KJ Henry actually showed some potential there, and I feel like he can help somebody in the league for sure. I really feel like he can help somebody in the league. Oh, Sam Hartman. Oh, my goodness. How could I almost forget about Sam Hartman? Hartman. He was released. He probably will be on the practice squad. That's a guy who I do not think another team will claim, especially with the injury. So I think he will be back on the practice squad. I think that's a guy that they want on the practice squad in their developmental process.
And Sam Hartman had a good game against the Jets. I like the scramble that he had, the first down pass to I want to say Luke McCaffrey, and then he had the speed option to Michael Wiley, and he made a couple good plays. Good plays. He ran for a first down as well on 3rd and 9. He got like 15 yards, ran out of bounds. So I do like Sam Hartman. I like him as a good backup. Tyreek Castle-Fields, is another surprise. I'm not gonna say surprise, but I had Tyreek Castle-Fields on the roster. I do think he's better than Noah I, in my opinion. They're both not great, but I think he's better. I think he's a better corner than Noah I. Noah I was awful in that preseason game. I feel like he should have been released, but he is a special teams guy, kick returner and whatnot. Tyreek Castle-Fields was actually drafted by the Niners when Adam Peters was there, and then they released him, and then we claimed him after that. So, so Sam Hartman's gone. Tyreek Castle-Fields, James Pierre. Those are some of the notable releases right now. And then Ryan Fowler tweeted out, Edge KJ Henry improved each time he strapped up on Washington. Lunch pail type of worker that showed up each time snaps were presented 3 games in his rookie campaign with multiple pressures and finished the 24 preseason with 10 pressures and 9 hurries, which led the NFL. So like I said, I think a team's going to pick him up. I do. I think, after that, I'll say it's a 65% chance that another team claims KJ Henry. So, all right, you guys let me know what you guys think. Hell's Commanders. Peace. Hold on, there's one more update that just came through. See if there's anything of note, and then I'll wrap it up after that. Something just came through. My computer's loading real quick. Andre Jones. Yeah, that's about it. All right, you guys. Hell's Commanders. Peace.